We continue our journey through the Caucasus region after discovering a green, mountainous, and welcoming Georgia and a modern, structured, and surprisingly futuristic Azerbaijan in its capital. Arriving in Armenia after that completely changes the perception of the trip. It feels like stepping into a more intimate rhythm, denser in history, where everything seems closer and more human. In Gyumri, the experience is different. There are fewer modern machines and more small cafes, often family-run, where the pace is slower. The relationship with time changes completely. Yerevan and Gyumri are not simply two different cities in Armenia. They function almost like two separate versions of the same country, with completely different lifestyles, economies, and rhythms. Yerevan is the absolute center. Administration, most companies, nightlife, and nearly all international tourism are concentrated here. In recent years, the city has received an increasing number of foreigners, which has changed the atmosphere in central areas. There are modern cafes, international restaurants, and a constant presence of visitors that have become part of the urban landscape. Traffic is another striking element. There's a large number of cars imported from Russia, many of them old Lada models still in daily use. This created a very particular visual mix: modern buildings, remaining Soviet blocks, and vehicles from another era circulating through the same streets. For some visitors, this combination creates a feeling of being between two eras at the same time, as if modernization had not fully replaced the past. Gyumri, in contrast, has a completely different dynamic. Tourism is much lower, and the presence of foreigners is limited. However, there is a significant Russian population in the city, which adds another interesting cultural layer. The overall atmosphere is quieter, more local, and less oriented toward the visitor economy. Many travelers describe Gyumri as a place where one has the feeling of traveling back in time. Some even compare the experience to certain old towns in Russia or to cities where the urban rhythm has not changed for decades. This is not a negative comparison, but rather a perception linked to the preservation of the urban environment and the continuity of certain elements from the past. Between Yerevan and Gyumri, there are visible differences in daily life. In the capital, access to services is more modern and digitalized. In Gyumri, many things still operate in a more traditional way, with less automation and more direct human interaction. A curious detail repeated in several cities of the country is access to public water from natural sources. In different urban areas, it is still possible to find drinking water systems connected to natural springs, something that surprises many visitors use the cities where everything is bottled or privatized. Another interesting everyday element is coffee. In Yerevan, automatic coffee machines are widespread and offer surprisingly good coffee. At a very low cost, a around a few hundred drams. These small details are part of daily life and contribute to the sense of a mix between modernity and simplicity. If this kind of off-the-beaten-path travel interests you, you can subscribe now. I am exploring lesser-known countries where reality is very different from what is seen on social media. Yerevan and Gyumri also reflect two different forms of integration with the outside world. The capital is clearly more connected to international flows, foreign investment, and tourism. Gyumri, on the other hand, maintains a more internal identity, less influenced by external dynamics. But this growth has a cost. Salaries have increased, but so has the cost of rent. In the city center, finding affordable housing has become difficult for many locals. This creates a sense of economic pressure, especially among young people. Even so, the city continues to expand and modernize. Some analysts even describe Armenia as a country that, despite its small size, shows dynamics comparable to much larger countries where the capital concentrates development, while other cities maintain more traditional structures. In this sense, it has been mentioned that the country occupies a strategic and cultural position in its region. From a travel perspective, what is most striking is not only the visual difference between the two cities, but the feeling of a shift in mindset. In Yerevan, everything pushes toward the future. In Gyumri, the present feels more stable and less accelerated. In terms of tourism, Armenia offers much more than it first appears. Yerevan is the entry point, but the country has ancient monasteries such as Geghard and Tatev, vast mountainous landscapes, and a network of historical sites that reveal layers of very ancient civilizations. It is a country where tourism is still not saturated, allowing for a more direct experience. And one cannot talk about Armenia without mentioning Charles Aznavour, the iconic French-Armenian figure. His cultural presence remains very strong in the country, with statues, tributes, and a deep emotional influence on modern identity. For many locals, he represents a bridge between Armenia and the world. If you want to continue seeing these kinds of comparisons between Caucasus countries and lesser explored regions, there are more videos on the channel. The next destination completely changes both landscape and culture. In the end, The contrast between Yerevan and Gyumri is not an opposition, but a coexistence. Two rhythms within the same country that show how modernity and memory can coexist without erasing each other.